Alright, what's up everybody? It's Wednesday. I'm doing two today because I was wanting to do this video a few days ago and we'll see. The song is called BLINK-182 and it's by Your Broken Hero. I did a video by a group called August is Falling a while back, and it seems to me like this group may fall into that same category. So if you know, you know. We'll get into it here in just a second. Got my coffee. A few things before we get started. I am not a professional. I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional musician or reviewer. So don't expect me to get too into the weeds, right? I will be reviewing mostly high-level stuff. And don't be a dick. You may not like this song. I may not like this song. I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet. We'll find out together. But either way, I try to be really thoughtful when I do these, and I would appreciate it if we would take the same approach in the comments. And if you're so inclined, give me a like, give me a follow, give me a subscribe. You know, helps me out. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, just because it'd be fun to get to that number. And with that preamble out of the way, let's get right into it. This is BLINK-182 by Your Broken Hero, from the channel Emo's Not Dead. There we go. Obligatory Chuck shot. Does he have snake bites? Yes, he does.
I just bought this book. Where are you? And I'm so sorry. And I told her to get the animal style prize. Let's go!
Oh my god, CD player.
Colorado, it was just me and you. We listened to BLINK-182. I thought the other day that I would be okay, but now I know I'm not. If I spill my heart and said the things I meant to then, even though it's too late, just to get it off my chest, I wrote the song for you, just to remind us of BLINK-182. BLINK-182. Now I know we were just kids back then, when you told me to tell you when I miss you, just like BLINK-182. I thought the other day that I would be okay, but now I know I'm not. The song is meant to say that you've been on my mind. I miss you all the time. I wish I told you why. If I spill my heart and said the things I meant to then, even though it's too late, just to get it off my chest, I wrote the song for you, just to remind us of BLINK-182. BLINK-182. Just to remind us of BLINK-182. I found the letter you gave me when I moved down to California, it was just me. A box full of old memories.
All right. So, thoughts. First is, as far as the aesthetics go, pretty accurate, right? Pretty good capturing of that particular era of music and aesthetic, right? Style. You know, at the end there, he had the striped shirt under the t-shirt. It's a classic look. You got the choker, right? It's all well done. There are a couple things I will say. So first of all, I didn't love this song. Part of it maybe is because I'm jaded and cynical, and I also think that this song is a joke, maybe a joke. But also, I didn't like this kind of music when I was listening to this kind of music. Do you know what I mean? Like, I listened to a lot of really angsty, probably very cringe music in this period of my life, mid-2000s. But I was listening to heavy, mostly, right? Stuff that was aggressive and screaming. Not so much acoustic. Like, Secondhand Serenade was really big for a while, right? Dashboard Confessional was really big. I didn't like those bands because they were slow and boring and acoustic, and I wasn't into it. So I would not, like, this song is not going to hit me because it's not the kind of music I was listening to when I was listening to emo music, right? But that aside, I mean, you know, it's a pretty classic emo composition, right? You've got the references to high school and to, you know, BLINK-182, right? Obviously, that's a very, very basic. And like, look, here's the other thing, okay? I never had like a group of friends like that. Obviously, this is a video, right? This is made up, but there were, you know, I went to shows when I was in high school. I saw the groups of people who listened to the music I listened to, dressed the way I wanted to dress, you know, the girls that I was very much into. Well, was not allowed to date. I wasn't allowed to date anybody in high school. My childhood was interesting. But I never had a group of friends like that. And that does bother me. You know, I would have loved to have that sort of group of, you know, 8 to 12 people that, like, you just hang out every day, or you go to shows together, and you have your jokes and your camaraderie and all this stuff, right? I never really had that. So I was a little bit sad watching this video, just because, like, obviously this is simulated, but I know that it was real. I know that there were people who had those kinds of relationships, and I never did. But I think that this song is a bit of a parody. That's not to say it's not a loving one. Like, I would say that this is probably made by people who do have respect, appreciation for, you know, this period of music, who maybe they spent a lot of time living this lifestyle or listening to this kind of music. But I do not believe that this song was made by people who are, like, trying to bring it back, right? Like, it's well made. You know, the guitar work is fine. It's nice acoustic. The vocals are okay. I don't love the lead singer's voice. Just a personal thing. And it's possible also that he's doing a specific kind of voice, right, to try and emulate that mid-2000s style. I don't know. I haven't listened to any of his other work. I don't know who's in this band. I don't know if it's one person or if it's a team. I don't. I know that they have a song with Spencer Chamberlain from Under Oath. And I expect that there will be screaming in that one, so maybe I'll cover that. We'll just see. But yeah, I do think it's taking the piss a little bit. Anyway, yeah, I mean, look, I don't listen to a lot of acoustic. I'm not crazy about it. And I don't think that this song is meant to be taken all that seriously. But, you know, there are themes in there that everybody can identify with, right? We all have memories of listening to something, or maybe it's watching something. Maybe it's a concert that you went to, maybe it's a movie that you guys watched, or a show that you shared. Right? Everybody has those connections to people that aren't in your life anymore. And every once in a while, a song will come on the radio, or you'll see a clip of a TV show or something, and it'll take you back to that time, right? That time you had with that person who maybe things ended badly, maybe they didn't. Maybe you just grew apart because you got older, right? He talks about he moved to California, right? Well, look, I moved to California. I didn't lose any friends when I moved, but, you know, maybe you just move away. And things sort of naturally drift. And that is hard. It's not a pleasant feeling, right? It's not nice to look back and think, man, you know, I have all these good memories from a specific time in my life with this person or this group of people. Or this music reminds me of a general time, right? Not just the people I was around, but like what my life was like in 2008, right? Maybe things were really good. Maybe they were really bad, right? And it brings you back to that. I do think, even goofy songs, I do think that there is some power there. So like I said, I do think this song is taking the piss, but you can still get something out of it. That's it. That's what I got. I think that the fact that they used the Discman, I had one at one time. I mean, that's a nice touch, but he should have had an iPod Shuffle. That's what he should have had. A Shuffle or a Mini, maybe an iPod Touch. That was big. And they should have had sidekicks instead of razors. That's my aesthetic take because of the era. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe this is this is definitely mid 2000s. By mid 2000s, you would have had a sidekick from T-Mobile, and you would have had an iPod instead of a CD player. But you know, that's little details. But I'm done. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. Drink lots of water. And be nice to each other.